Today I'm going to cover my thoughts on the current market and where I believe we're going from here. But first, if you're not following me on Twitter at thecryptodata, definitely do so. I also have my own personal Telegram channel where I post a lot of alpha, including technical analysis, altcoins, narrative rotations, and more. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about the crash that happened last night. I actually posted a long thread about this of why I thought bottoming signals were continuing to form and why I thought a reversal was imminent, which did end up happening. So some of the reasons why the FUD of last night was because Germany was selling more of their $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. For anyone who doesn't know, Germany seized over $3 billion worth from a hack, and they've been selling it ever since. Yesterday, they started selling even more, about $400 million worth, which was causing FUD and people to sell their bags. On top of this, we also had the Mt. Gox FUD. So Mt. Gox says they're going to start repaying their creditors back out of the $9 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they actually transferred $2.7 billion worth to an exchange wallet address yesterday, which people were speculating that was going to be offloaded on the market as well. And this was reflected in Bitcoin's price as we actually wicked down to 53,400. On top of that, CT sentiment was at an all-time low, but we did have some positive Ethereum ETF news with refilings happening, so potentially that could be approved as early as next week. But overall, sentiment was more bearish than ever. So it caused me to dig deeper and see, hey, how close are we to a bottom? So I looked at CoinGlass, and I saw that $537 million of liquidations happened within the past 24 hours. Now, during the last FTX collapse, it was about 800 plus million. So that's really what I wanted to see. But the 540 million was close enough for me because during this whole time, Bitcoin has just been chopping and bleeding for the past couple of weeks, which I believe people are already in shorts. They already sold into stables and they were just waiting for confirmation back to the upside. So really, they weren't caught off guard like they were during the FTX collapse. So 540 million is about right. So then I looked further, looking at the BTC technical analysis. So I looked on the daily. We had the RSI, again, oversold, which on the daily, it hasn't been oversold again since August, okay? So we had a dip here in June, but then it went again, and now we also formed a bullish divergence. So this is something I was looking at. Price had a lower low, but then RSI was forming a higher high. So that's bullish divergence. So, and then we can see that happen with this wick. We actually wicked back to the upside, and potentially now we're having a reversal to the upside. So that was something I looked at as well. And another thing is we did have this strong support. That's actually weekly support of 50 to 52,000 along with a weekly trend line. Now, something with this is I thought the perfect fake out would be wick down just above where everyone has placed their limit longs and then rip back to the upside to short, to basically liquidate all of the shorts. And I believe that's what's happening right now. So that was something I was thinking as well. And then next, you also have August 2nd being the 100-day mark for the post-halving rally. So for anyone who doesn't know, if you're not following Halving Tracker, it actually tells you how long it's been since the Bitcoin halving. So for anyone who isn't tracking, Bitcoin pumps between 50 to 100 days after the halving. So you can see 2012, 16, and 2020, it started pumping 50 to 100 days after. Right now, we're at day 76. So by August 2nd, it's going to be day 100. So that's another date I'm watching, but we're still within that window, which means Bitcoin could still rip higher. So along with that, some more metrics I was looking at was the ETH BTC technical analysis and ETF. So here you can see on the weekly, ETH BTC has been in a 2-year downtrend and it is getting closer and closer to breaking this, but currently we have not been able to. So with that, I'm still waiting for this to happen. So we have the ETF potentially being approved. We also have some other catalysts such as the FTX creditor refund wealth effect. We also have pro-crypto legislation or interest rate cuts / fiscal stimulus. So still a lot of things that could push us over, and I believe when ETH BTC does cross over this trend line, the alt season will begin. So no telling when that is, but I'm watching this very closely. Next was the Fear Greed Index. So the Fear Greed Index is a good metric for measuring overall sentiment and how fearful or greedy people are. The big thing with this is you're supposed to buy when people are fearful and sell when they're greedy. So now we were at a 29 fear. The last time we were that low, and the graph is the blue here, the last time we were that low was December 19th, 2022, when Bitcoin was near its 16,400 level before it ripped higher. So now we were there again, which caused me to believe we are very close to capitulation. So that was another metric. Next, Also, Bitcoin monthly returns. So historically, July has been a bullish month for Bitcoin, especially if June was a red month. You had 5 years that if June was a red month, Bitcoin was a green month, or there was a green month in July. That happened 100% of the time. So the caveat I mentioned was, again, Mt. Gox in Germany selling Bitcoin was technically not FUD, but nonetheless, it does show you that if history repeats itself, that cheap Bitcoin will be bought up, and it was. So basically, all of this to say that we did have a wick below, but we are starting to go back to the upside. But one thing I want to mention is we are below the 200-day EMA, so which is usually a trend shifting moving average. So if we want to shift back to the upside, then we need to regain that 200 EMA, which is sitting at 58,200. So that's something I'm watching heavily on that. And also, I'm watching Ethereum here. So Ethereum did bounce. It was 2850, bounced off this big support that it had from May, April, and mid-April. So that's why I was watching this. It bounced perfectly, and the RSI is oversold as well, which for Ethereum, the RSI hasn't been oversold since September of last year, again, before the bull run started. So there's a lot of metrics that have been lining up that if you just take a second to look, they are some good points to DCA, and that's exactly what I did. And today, we did have a nice bounce on a lot of alts. And if you look at the past 24 hours, Dog with Hats up 25%, Mantra's up 22%, and a couple other coins I also want to post about is in the Ton network. But before I do that, we also have Bitcoin ETF flows positive today with 117 million from Fidelity. That shows you that institutions were buying while Bitcoin was crashing to the ground. So when everyone's scared, I saw a lot of smart people on Twitter capitulate. I knew that the bottom was near and we were about to have a reversal. So guys, do not give into the fear. Look at the data, look at the metrics. You're going to find the truth on that. So now I'm going to the Ton blockchain. The Ton blockchain has continued to gain TVL, and with that, there's been a lot of outperformers. Right now, I've been talking about TonKeeper and Ton Season. So today, they're up 53% and 24% respectively. So here, if you look at TonKeeper, you can see how much it's continued to increase. Market cap is 23 million, and it has just blown up. The community is strong. It's based on Meow's movement, PPP, which is player pump player. Meow is the Jupiter founder, and he's been pushing this for the past couple of weeks. And TonKeeper and Ton Season are the first two coins to take on this PPP movement, where basically people plan and work towards the end goal of the last person winning instead of the last person being exit liquidity. So it's player pump player versus player, right? Because the PvP mindset is what the celebrities were doing, the very toxic environment that celebrities and all these other meme coins were creating, which is pump and dumps. But with this PPP movement that's being started, you have these coins continuing to perform well. Even during the crash, these were even holding up, which shows you the strength of them. So that's something I wanted to mention. There's a lot of good things happening on the Ton network. TSC and TCAT, top picks. I've been very bullish on them for a while, and I posted about them in my Telegram even way down here if you were able to get in. But that's something I've been looking at as well. So again, there's always opportunities in the market. Do not feel like everything has to go down just because Bitcoin is crashing, okay? You got to put in the research, you got to put in the time, and you're going to find those good coins. We've also talked about Layer 0 in my Telegram and ZK Sync. These are the trending coins today. So if that doesn't show you strength, I don't know what will. So you need to put in the research, guys. Again, if you're not following me on Twitter, definitely do so at thecryptodata. I post a lot of these good takes. I make sure to make everything as easy to understand as possible, especially my Telegram. Have a lot of good posts in there. But with that, I hope this video helped you guys out. I believe that we are nearing a bottom. We could potentially, try to tag near this 53K level again, just to get some more people out who have thought this was a reversal. But I do believe overall, we will start grinding to the upside. It's just a little chop in between then. And the ETF flows with Fidelity buying show that. And I believe a lot of the fear that we saw last night showed that as well. So if you love this video, please give it a like. Please comment if you have any questions. And please subscribe if you haven't. Really appreciate all my subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.